So a question that I often get is, what are pros looking at when they're looking at the ball, or more in particular, I suppose, what am I looking at when I hit the golf ball? Now, the first thing that you want to make sure that you are very much focusing on, which is going to sound incredibly obvious, is that you want to make sure you are getting that club face in a nice snug relationship to the actual golf ball itself, therefore increasing your chances, if you start there, of returning there. Now, that might seem slightly contrary to some of the drills and exercises that often go around on YouTube. For example, sometimes in videos I will talk about starting the club behind the ball, sometimes I will get focus on ahead of the ball. But the reason for that is because when I'm talking about those types of videos, those videos are talking about a different type of context. So for example, if I talk about starting here, this is a good place to start to get the feeling of getting the first move in the golf swing good. Focusing on this area to the left of the ball is a good way to focus on improving your rotation through the ball. However, when you are playing golf, you want to be very much focusing on ensuring that your relationship when you're looking down at the ball and the club face is nice and snug. However, what happens with professional golfers is for a right-handed professional golfer, what they want to do is they need to be able to control their contact, okay? So they want to make sure they are hitting through the ball, okay? We'd never want to make sure that club is coming down too soon. The reason why is if your club comes down too soon, not only is this likely going to give you miss-hitting, but also by the time your club meets the ball, it's likely to point left. And that is kind of like a pro's or a better golfer's worst sort of nightmare, because as soon as the ball starts kind of going left, one, obviously it hasn't started in the correct direction, but also with that, it kind of ends up producing a type of shot which has very little spin, so it ends up going further than you anticipated it, and obviously it goes left, which is what you don't want. So what we tend to find with professionals is that they're much better than amateur golfers at managing their miss, which basically means they control where the bad shot tends to go. The way they do that is by controlling their low point. So what I'm basically saying is, by focusing on making sure the club hits through the ball, a good way for you guys to interpret that information is to focus on the inner part of the golf ball. So as I look down at the golf ball now, what we don't want to do is we don't want the club to come down too soon so that the club ends up striking the outer part of the ball. That would be a disaster. What we want to make sure happens is that I'm going to hit through the ball, and the feeling of hitting through the ball is that you're going to hit more the inner part of the golf ball, and by doing that means that you are going to reduce the chances of missing towards the left. It's something that I work on a lot with my students. It's definitely something that we see with a professional golfer in terms of managing the miss, so it should help you out as well in terms of understanding exactly what you're trying to look at, but then more importantly what you're theoretically trying to actually do. Hopefully it helps. I'll see you soon.